that they don't put themselves in a very bad situation. But I kind of feel like, yeah, Valentina as well as Ling here, or oh wait, the chip is open.
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to pick up the Valentina chip?
We'll see. For
Although,
Falcons
yeah,
Vega, it was a big priority.
Personally, for me, I would still pick up the Ling because Ling with Terizla is very difficult to deal with because there's a lot of crowd control as well as a lot of damage. They're going for the Ruby here, probably expecting for VSG to pick up a Harif in this pick.
Harith.
I would say Julian Harif here.
Oh, Julian.
Oh,
is
wait,
good.
not Harif. Julian Claude.
Well, technically Kyoe, right?
Yeah.
She loves her assassins. She loves her
Minotaur.
aggressive assassins in the jungle. So that's definitely a priority for VSG here in order for Kyoe to have that same impact. But they're going to leave her hero out for the second phase. Claude and Minotaur has been their choice.
Yeah, I was suggesting Julian Claude because the Claude generally does work well against the heroes that so far has been shown by Smart Mega Empress. Now Smart Mega Empress picking up that Moskov. For both teams, they don't have a jungler at this point. So for VSG, something that we do have to remember, usually when it's fourth pick, that's where they pick up the Benedetta. So with the first three picks, it kind of shows that that's where Kyoe wants to go.
Benedetta and Julian, right? Those are the only two options that we've seen her pick up. What happens? Is it worth it to go ban on both heroes right now?
I feel like it is if you know that she can't use a Ling or a Hayabusa because you can ban both of those and then pick one assassin for yourself. And if all the assassins are done and dusted, you could pick up something like the Bane or the Alpha because Smart Mega Empress, they have the priority after this, but looks like they're banning out the mid laners, banning out the Vexana, which, I don't know, I kind of feel like Valen has an okay time against the Vexana.
So what do you think would be an option for VSG to pick up in that mid lane, right? We've seen a Kagura being picked up. We saw Lilia in this current composition. What do you think what do you think their idea is right now?
Personally, I love going up against Valen with the Farsa, but it's kind of a user thing. Looking at the lineup here, Farsa would be okay going up against the Moskov as well. You can gank the Moskov early game at level 3 when the Moskov is level 3 and then get priority there, giving a lot of space for the Claude, but again, it's about the user. If Synchro is comfortable with the Farsa, that's my personal recommendation.
What's her hero so far? Lunox,
Oh yeah,
Vexana,
Lunox.
Valen, and Zushin.
I guess the Lunox would be okay here. The Hayabusa ban looks like for VSG, they're trying to force out a Ling pick here or a Julian pick.
What about Nolan? Is Nolan
I
still
always
a
forget
priority
about
pick?
Nolan. I think Nolan is fine here. I feel like Nolan is fine. Especially because they already used it against Gaming Gladiators Homegirls and defeated them quite swiftly with the Nolan. So yeah, good shout out on the Nolan.
Okay, so that's another option. But technically, Keishi, she has a lot of heroes in her hero pool, right? We've known her to pick up the assassin jungles. We've known her to pick up the fighters and even the tanks in the jungle. So they do still have a little bit more room to wriggle around with in that regard. But next pick is coming up quite slow. Predictions for the next pick.
I feel like the Nolan, they're picking out the Julian, making sure that Kyoe doesn't get the Julian herself.
Are they forcing a Benedetta here?
Looks like that's the option. Ling is open, but again, we haven't seen it. So yeah, Benedetta does get picked up. Mid lane, again, I kind of would prefer Farsa. If you want to go for a Kagura, I guess it's kind of okay. Especially going up against the Julian, making it so that you have a way to escape.
So what does
Or they
Synchro wanna
could
play
go
here?
Faramis. Like, it's not the best going up against Valentina, but it's something. Oh,
I think
dead!
it's too risky.
Oh, I didn't see that one coming.
Have we seen Odette? Wait, what did it say? Was it 0?
I mean, all the games that I've watched,
I haven't seen an Odette
I haven't seen an Odette.
on my shift.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, 0.
Zero pick, zero ban.
DOD. Debuts.
MWI is just a DOD.
I love it. DOD. So now let's circle back over to Smart Omega Empress. Technically, they kind of set up for this Benedetta, right? They picked up a Ruby earlier on. So maybe they thought that that was the less of a threat in a way.
Honestly, they could go for something like an X-Borg here and put Ruby in the roam. If they want a roamer here,
What about Tigreal?
yeah, Tigreal's solid, the Grok is solid. it really depends where they want to put this Ruby, because they need someone to disrupt the Odette here. And yeah, Xborg is good going up against the Minotaur, the Terizla. So honestly, very solid lineup coming in from Smart Omega. They usually lose first game, but I don't know. I'm liking that draft.
Maybe they need time to warm up, right?
Maybe because I like their draft, that's how they lose.
Okay, take that back then. Don't like
Nah,
their
fam.
draft.
Nah, fam.
Nah, fam?
Nah, fam.
Nah,
Yeah,
fam?
yes, you got it. Wait, no, Omega got it. Wait,
what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm shutting
no,
up now.
You're leveling it up. It's okay. That's
Okay.
good. That's good. That's good. No bias. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the composition for the first game in this best of 5 series, our second and final semifinals of the day. We're going to throw it over to the casters. It's your time to shine.
And we're going to be catching it over here. Trex, Naisu on the desk. Naisu, welcome.
Thank you.
You're here, VSG versus the Philippines, Omega Empresses. Yesterday, we saw them riding in the jeepney.
Well, savage.
Today, they're going up against Eeca. How do we feel about it?
We're feeling good, man. You know, especially, I'm feeling good about the fact that this is nearly a week of debuts, right? This is the WAD at this point. It's not DOD anymore because, yeah, you know, you're right. You haven't seen this Odette pick up, and it's funny because we've had a lot of comparisons between the Jushin and the Odette, and now this time because it was banned out, they're like, VSG's like, let's just take the Odette and make this work for us. But what I do see from this lineup is a whole lot of damage, evenly spread out from Magic plus the physical. So that could pay dividends, especially with this Minotaur pick.
Yeah, one of the scary things, though, with the Odette is Synchro likes to move. Synchro,
Oh, look at that damage. Gailey, she's going to have to get out. I think Murray's still going to hunt her down. Akeshi there, too. They might be able to get this, and she does. First blood already. The 1 minute mark for Smart Omega Empress.
That's a big start, especially with how we've seen Smart Omega Empress sometimes want to kick it in gear real early. And the funny thing is a lot of times Smart Omega Empress has a slow start, but this time they're attacking quick.
Ooh, and hands chains again. And Minun, I'm not sure if the body of Smith is going to be enough. She tries to do something, but she will go down. Another kill picked up for Smart Omega.
Body of Smith gets diffed. Smart Omega Empress starting things off very cleanly. We're a minute and a half in. We're already creeping into a 700K gold lead, and Turtle hasn't even popped up yet. Now, what I was saying with Synchro likes to move. Synchro wants to be able to do some things. The big problem is here is if Synchro's position is off at any point with that Swan Song, you got a lot of people who can close the distance. You got the I'm Offended, you got the Enhanced Chains, you got a Big Last and Sandy. There are a lot of people who want to target down onto Synchro. So a lot of it's going to be when she pops the Swan Song and where she pops the Swan Song. Other than that, if they can make that work, it can definitely be something that works out in this composition.
Makes me kind of think, too, will Omore actually take the Swan Song in some of the situations? You know, because typically you're going to see her take the Minoan Fury, she's going to take the penalty zone, but what if she even takes that Swan Song? And as that, they're going to go ahead and take this first objective. Turtle secured, and another kill, Keelway. She's just gone. I mean, talk about the speed that Smart Omega Empress is playing at right now. They're going to get spotted out a little bit here in the mid lane, but man, this is probably the fastest that we've seen Smart Omega Empress start in a game, especially game one.
They were revving up the engine before they even came out on the court, man. They had it in neutral. They were ready to go at any moment. They had it in first gear, and now they're kicking in quick. They're averaging at more than a kill a minute at this point. If they can get another one, they're really keeping it secured. VSG, they got to find a way to slow them down. Taking a look at some of these items right now. I want to focus on the junglers because Keelway is falling behind right now.
Yeah.
She's got a,
oh, look at the damage once again. Gailey will be able to get away, but burns the flicker. And I think that's a good point, Trex, is the gaps here in terms of gold are already starting to build up. You can see Keshi built up the Genius Wand. Now their eyes set elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, at this, Keelway had the first item of a breastplate.
Yeah.
The first item of a boot, and a mallet.
Not much.
Keshi just got the Genius Wand in. If that can just say anything, but down on the top side, Rihanna's just trying to defend at this point. Just wants to clear ways, but gold plating going over to Shanoa here. We saw Shanoa play amazingly yesterday.
That Eeca.
That Eeca. Insanity. So now at this point, Victory Song Gamers, the song's not sounding too happy right now.
Again, we can't part of it too, I know this is quite a lead that Smart Omega Empress has got themselves at this point, nearly 3,000 up ahead already. And, you know, to build up at that point for VSG, they've done it before, they've come back, they've held things together. I'm just not sure if they dealt with this kind of pressure this early on, because typically, especially with the Benedetta pick, you see them being able to start the momentum in their favor. Now they're going to go ahead and try to contest this turtle, but just look how fast the turtle is even taken out. Minun, though, going to take the last insanity. Right there she goes and flickers out. Kiwei is now part of the fight, but will she be able to pick up the kill on Ayanami? But Keshi is there to help her out, so no one goes down in the exchange.
You know, one of the small downfalls of the Benedetta in the jungle is you don't get that Petrify, right?
Yeah.
She could have made that engage there with the Petrify. She probably could have picked up the kill. But you just got, your mechanics need to be that much more on point. You cannot waste a single skill when you're running in the jungle like this, let alone with her falling behind a bit. VSG kind of forced into, I mean, I feel like already we're only 5 minutes in, but they're kind of already forced into a late game scenario at this point if they want to keep this up. Nadayami does get the Brute Force breastplate in. Looks like going to go into War Axe next, most likely. Going to probably wait for Immortality third, maybe even fourth item, just because they already have such a strong lead. Who needs Immortality when you don't even need to worry about them doing damage right now? Synchro finally gets the Genius one, and Kaylee walks into it again.
Kaylee again. I don't think she's going to... Oh, she flickers out.
Oh!
Can't get away. Shinoa right on point with the Spear of Destruction. She's had enough of Kaylee escaping it. And there you go. So they pick up another kill. Amore holds on to her own Minoyan's Fury. And man, this has to be frustrating for Gailey.
Yeah. I mean, Shinoa said, not today.
Not today.
Not today, Gailey. You got it a few times before, but this time we're taking out Nadayami, though.
Yeah, another last insanity going to be burned, but I think that's just going to back off from that point. But it's getting, yeah, like you said, at this point, you know, you're talking about quite a big gold gap already. It's ballooned to 5,000. You know, at the 6-minute mark, this is not where you want to be with this kind of lineup as well for VSG. You did mention the Genius Wand was just picked up by Synchro, so now it's kind of like eyes are on Synchro. Can she actually find that initiation? Can she actually find the follow-up? Hopefully if Gailey can't, but Minun, where are the tanks when they're getting deleted like this?
There is Minun. There's none.
There's none.
Minun? I
there's
tried.
none.
There's none. Minun. Yeah.
This turtle's Minun.
This turtle's Minun. It's done. Smart Omega Empress just, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's a tough route from here. On the good side, we have seen Victory Song gamers pull off some insane comebacks. Just the other day, we saw them against Cloud9, pushed against the wall, and find that one moment where they can get the big set and turn things around. Can they do it here? They do have some setup potential with Gailey, but Gailey at this point needs to step back. They need to let Smart Omega have some of these towers. They cannot take another death. If this gold lead, it's already at what, 6,000?
Yeah.
If it gets any farther, we're now creeping to 7. If it gets up to the 8 or 9, I mean, it's just GG's, I think, at that point.
I mean, you see how confident Smart Omega Empress is being too. Murray just using the I'm Offended into any of these bushes, seeing if she actually gets anything, because they know at this point, even the front liners are not going to be able to withstand it. Listen, Insanity going to be used there to push them off the first turret. There's a penalty zone. This might be their chance, but Gailey's going to be the one to fall again. Kiwei in the back, trying to run away. Will she actually eventually be able to just get the execute off? Maybe try to outplay something if she can, but she finds Amore right there, and she'll fall as well. In the whole exchange, VSG did get one kill on not Ayanami, but again, it's still dire here.
Let's take a look at the replay. Gailey goes for the big Hail Mary play. Gets some Noan's Fury right after the big penalty zone. But the damage still just isn't there. Rianne uses the Blazing Duet, but no one really gets taken out. They get one kill on Nadayami. And like I said, I think this is a time that maybe, even if they get the perfect setup, they're not going to be able to get a full team wipe. They're not going to be able to get the big turnaround just yet. Rianne, I'm pretty sure, has just the Corrosion Scythe and Boots locked in right now. Hasn't even gotten to Golden Wand or DHS yet. Whereas when we look at, all right, got DHS and Corrosion Scythe, but still lacking Golden Wand. Almost 2,000 gold behind Shinoa. Shinoa has 3 items locked in, right? Got it around the 8-minute mark, maybe 8:20 mark. It's definitely trouble. It's 1 to 8. I think Victory Song gamers, even if it looks like you have the perfect set, even if you think you can get a 5-man knock-up, you cannot go for the fight here.
You can't go for the fight because there was no, there was no chance to do it. The Lord went down nearly as fast as the front liners of VSG at this point. So, you know, at this moment, you kind of got to wonder, how does VSG even come back when it's so far away from them at 10,000 gold before the 10-minute mark? And the Lord is making its way down the mid. Look at the damage already just, even if Kiwi just gets a little bit close to the lineup of Smart Omega Empress, she's going to take half her health and damage. So, you know, it goes to it again. How can you get that setup? Can you get the amazing setup they're looking for with the penalty zone and Minoan Fury? Because that's what has to happen here.
Yeah, and then even looking at the front line, Minam has War Axe in, but not a single defensive item yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like what were we going for here? We get a little bit of magic defense, but nothing to deal with Shinoa. Taking a look at Gailey as well. You got the breastplates, you have half of the dominance ice, so at least you have a little something, but your front line can't even take the shots right now. Not to mention as well, not Ayami's doing true damage. It's just a lot to deal with. Victory Song Gamers, the option is you huddle down and wait.
Huddle down the best you can. Penalty zone going to be used under the turret into the Lecto final blow. Do they have enough firepower? Minon's going to be the one to fall, and actually almost the whole team of VSG will be wiped out. It's only Rian, as all members of Smart Omega Empress stay alive. And this looks like it's going to be a quick game number 1. Crystal already worked on, and that will be the victory for Smart Omega Empress.
The Empresses are already in gear with their eyes set on the grand finals. VSG's got to slow them down right now. They got to figure something out, because the Empresses, I mean, normally, we talked about right before we started, sometimes it takes them a game to really get into their zone, but they came in prepared. I don't know what they ate this morning, but they came in ready.
Man. Maybe they were playing games before this one, so they got that one game like out, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe they just hopped
went
in.
lost.
Yeah.